Hey everybody, good afternoon and welcome in our live YouTube live where we're launching our 2026 percussion ensemble publications. For a live launch like this, it would be beneficial that everybody can hear me. So it would be great if you could type a yes or okay in the chat if you can hear me talk, because I think that's the most important thing for today. So if you would be able to put a yes in the chat or an okay so you can hear me, that would be great, so I can continue this live launch of our 2026 percussion ensemble publications. Tracy says yes. Thank you. That's really great. And good morning from California. Good morning, Caro. Great that you're here. And what's the schedule for today? We're going to show you some new score play videos I made of the new pieces that are just published for 2026. We've got some interviews with educators, interviews with directors about the new music and the music they've been working on. In the middle of our launch, we have an interview with Bruce Salyers from Salyers Percussion about his famous Etude series. And after that, there will be some more new music launched. And at the end, I'm raffling off a set of mallets from Salyers Percussion. So it's pretty important to stay until the end. If you want to win a set of mallets from Salyers, everyone who signed up, I put your name in this box. So I'll be raffling off a name who's going to win a set of mallets at the end of this launch. And I want to get started with a brand new piece from a Dutch composer. He used to play in one of my percussion ensembles, and he made music his professional career. He's one of the Marines now, and he's in the Dutch Marine drum and 5 corps. And his name is Gerson. It's a typical Dutch name, and his tune is called Flight of the Hummingbird. Enjoy Flight of the Hummingbird. fun tune to start off with. A brand new percussion ensemble from one of my former students, Gerson, and it's a Flight of the Hummingbird. That's what it's called. And the next piece I want to introduce to you are my Happy Birthday variations. And I wrote a set of 5 variations on the famous Happy Birthday tune. And I wrote them all in different musical styles, and I also wrote them all in different key signatures. So the waltz you were able to download after subscribing for this launch is in C, and of course I do have the other variations in F, G, B flat, and D, of course. And the fun thing is that it's a really easy tune to play for the kids, and most of the time it's really easy to memorize the tune for them. And it's a great educational value because if you learn the same song in different key signatures, you learn something about transposing, and you learn something about different musical styles. And the fun thing is if there are some kids who want to experiment with playing with more melodies than just 2, there's a first marimba part and a second marimba part in the piece, but those 2 can also be combined to a marimba part for 3 melodies or even for 4. So I decided to let you listen to only the second variation today, and it's a bit of it has a bit of Latin groove. So this is my second Happy Birthday variation. Enjoy. So that was the salsa version of Happy Birthday to You. And these are all, of course, also a great of value if you want to celebrate birthdays with the kids in your percussion class. So it has multiple things you can use it for, as them learning more about the different key signatures, learning them about different styles, and the fun element to play it when there's a kid celebrating his birthday. So those are my Happy Birthday variations. They're from now on they're available from our website, and if you want to hear the other variations as well, you can go to our website after this launch. And the next tune is for me, it's a lot of fun to do. I'm trying sometimes to get to learn my students something about classical music without even knowing them, and that's why I tried to hide a classical tune and arrange it in a different way that it doesn't look like a classical tune. And this time I picked a famous Bach tune, and I called it John's Soca, and it's been rehearsed by a percussion ensemble from Iowa, from my friend Shawn Sandersfeld, who's a teacher at the Mid Prairie School District in Kelowna in Iowa, and he has been rehearsing this piece with his ensemble. It's not finished yet, but here's the rough idea. And afterwards, you saw the video from that ensemble. I'll play the score play video as well. Enjoy John's Soca.
1, 2, ready, go.
Hey, Shawn, welcome to our official launch of the 2026 Percussion Ensemble pieces. We just saw the video of your students playing the piece. Before I sent it to you, I was thinking, is it suitable for middle school students? Because I didn't even realize if they are learning to play in cut time in middle school already.
Yeah, no, I think entirely appropriate. And thanks for having me, by the way, here, and thanks for sending the piece. Some of the kids have played that piece on piano. It's such a famous melody, and so I think it's in a lot of piano books. So the melody was familiar to me right off the bat. And with cut time pieces for middle school, we'll start them off in 4/4 and then speed it up and then try to make that transition in their minds to, hey, this is what cut time is and all that. But for us with your piece, we just started it in 4/4, and because the drummer had his part down ahead of time, it just worked really well right off the bat.
What do you think of the way I transformed this famous theme into a groovy soca tune? Would Beethoven turn in his grave if he heard this?
And those guys would totally love what you're doing with their melodies.
You just mentioned it a couple of seconds ago. You told me earlier that you sent the drum set practice track to the drum set player before the first rehearsal, so he knew the groove and before anyone else. And you also told me you practically played the complete song during the first rehearsal because of he knew the groove.
He came into the first rehearsal and he had that groove all figured out. And my initial thought the first rehearsal was, because nobody else had seen the music ahead of time or had the recording in this instance. And
Hmm.
so my thought was, well, we'll get it started and we'll do about 8 bars or whatever and all that. Well, that first rehearsal, because he had his drum set part down, we played through the whole song.
And when you sent the other practice tracks to the other players after that rehearsal, what happened then?
Yeah, well, the kids, we've listened to the piece a few times, and a lot of the kids don't have the capability at home, like they don't have the mallet instruments at home and all that. And you and I have talked before that even just listening to the piece, if they'll listen to the piece, and I've done this with some of your other pieces that we've worked on too. Hey, I'm sending this home to you. Listen to it. You know, you've got a mallet part, and I know you don't have a marimba at home, but if you'll just listen to it, just even that is so beneficial. Those teaching aids are just so helpful for kids. Now, I don't know if the drum set player, I don't think he needed to slow down the track. I know you've got the software and the capability to do that. I think for him, he was able to pick it up right away. But just to have that option available for kids, especially since that's a faster piece, if kids need to slow things down, and I think they have the capabilities of looping things as well, right? Like if there's a
Hmm.
2 bar pattern, that's trouble. You can loop it and slow it down. Just any of those things that just can help kids figure things out quicker. That kind of stuff is really helpful. And I know you've talked about it before that it just allows the director to get to the music and making music out of things, out of these pieces quicker rather than spending our whole time learning notes and rhythms.
Thanks a lot for being here today, and we'll see each other next time.
Great. Can I throw in one other thing?
Yeah.
And this is really, you will appreciate this, and I mentioned this to you in an email, but I had the classical radio on the other night,
Oh,
and
yeah, that was a fun story. Yeah.
our family everybody was listening to it, and one of our boys said, "Well, Dad, that's the New World Symphony." And I said, "Oh, wow, that's cool. How did you know that?" And he said, "Well, we did Dvorak's Bassa last spring," and he made that connection as opposed to here's the New World Symphony, and now we're going to do Dvorak's Bassa. It was kind of that in reverse order, which is I thought pretty cool, and I was like, "Wow, that's cool that he made that connection," which I thought was pretty neat.
Yeah, it's a cool story, and I think that's the whole point why I'm take those classical tunes and give them a different twist. So
Yep.
I'm getting them to know a little bit about classical music, mostly without even knowing that it is classical music.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's really cool because these kids they're learning about music, and that's really our ultimate goal, isn't it?
That was just a small part of the interview I had with my friend and fellow music educator, Shawn Sandersfeld from Kelowna, Iowa. And that's what it is. He has been studying my John Soca with his students from the Mid Prairie um, Middle School. And our next guest is someone from Indianapolis who composed a completely new percussion ensemble. His name is Daniel Dorsett. As I told you, he's from Indianapolis, and he wrote a piece for the percussion ensemble he teaches with a lot of students from high school students from different schools in Indianapolis. He called his new piece Weather the Storm, and we're going to listen to the piece, and I had a small interview with him as well about his piece, and that will be I will show the interview right after we've been listening to his piece. Here's Daniel Dorsett's piece Weather the Storm. Okay, everybody, we've been listening to "Weather the Storm" from the composer Daniel Dorsett from Indianapolis. Here he is. Daniel, welcome, and thanks for being in the show, and thanks for having a couple of minutes to talk about your composition. What's the reason you've been written the piece?
Yeah, this piece was originally written for the Indianapolis Public Schools Percussion Ensemble. It's a percussion ensemble here in Indianapolis that is a collection of multiple high schools in the district, and they all come together and play together. And so the big goal is really meeting the students where they are and continuing to help them grow. So I know those students pretty well because I worked with them for a few years, and they actually played your piece, Unlocked Energy, the year prior. A good idea of, okay, what can they do and what would be the next step in pushing them. And so that's where this piece came from, is this idea of let's give those students a little bit more of a push, but still very accessible.
So you just told us that the students are coming from different schools. Mm-hmm. How many times a week, a month are you rehearsing on this project? And is it like how many schools are involved in the project?
Yeah, so there's 4 different public high schools throughout the city that come together for that project, and we rehearse a couple times a week, and it's for a pretty long season, a couple months, where then they go out and do different competitions. And so local high schools that are around the city host different invitationals, and they'll go and compete and whatnot. And so that's basically the scope of it, is a few months of rehearsal and then about a month of competitions throughout the city and state.
And when I got to see the piece for the first time, I found out that you wrote it in 2 contrasting key signatures. What's the idea behind those 2 key signatures?
Yeah, so the whole piece is called Weather the Storm. And you can hear it at the beginning, right? It starts kind of sprinkle with the mallet percussion, and then it builds and builds and builds into the storm. And the big contrast I wanted is almost like this shining light, this is something hopeful, versus the storm part. And yeah, you can't really get much more contrasting than those 2 key centers. So I wanted to try to make a challenge of how can we go from this thing that's big and stormy to bright and light.
Do you think, like, if kids are getting a specific track of their part only, and like a karaoke track without their part, would that be beneficial for the preparation process? And would it save rehearsal time for the ensemble rehearsals?
Oh, yeah, so much. As a director myself, one of the phrases that I hear is, Mr. Dorsett, how does it go?
Yeah.
They say, how does it go, Mr.? Okay, well, we've learned rhythms and we know how to read, but sometimes kids just need to know, how does it go? And I think those practice tracks are a perfect way to just go, well, give a listen to the practice track, work with it, use it, and then that can tell you, oh, how does it go? Because I think that's, music, we hear music. And so to give that to the kids, to be able to hear it and be able to play along with it, is just so helpful.
That was Daniel Dorsett about his piece, Weather the Storm. Just curious, the people who are watching, have you seen anything so far that, like a piece that could be beneficial or could be usable in your program? Just curious, if you've seen or heard anything, just put a short yes in the chat if you want to. We're going to do something completely different. I'm an active member of the Salyers percussion education team, and I've been asking Bruce, the CEO of Salyers Percussion, if he wanted to share something about his Etude series. And then when I asked him about it, he also told me I can do like a little giveaway for your launch party. So here's a short interview with Bruce Salyers about his mallets in the Etude series. I got a lot of more content from him, a lot of more mallet nerd talk, but I'll save that for later. Here's a really short interview with Bruce Salyers about the marimba and vibraphone mallets from his Etude series. Thanks for being here today with our live launch where we're launching our new 2026 percussion ensemble pieces. And we invited you today to tell us something about the Etude series from Salyers. They must be developed quite a couple of years ago already because they've been in the program from the beginning, isn't it?
Yeah, it was one of the first. It was included in in our first initial offerings back when we started Salyers Percussion. I wanted something that would be an extremely high value. Something that students could buy and their parents wouldn't balk at the price that it could, and then something that would last and be good for the student. No student's going to be successful playing on something that's not going to get them the sounds they need to produce and not going to feel well. So tried to check all the boxes with one series. Yeah, it really came down to the yarn quality. Is we didn't skimp on the yarn quality. We use a wool yarn with some nylon mixed in, whereas a lot of the what might be called like value series that have been on the market, traditionally they use a little cheaper yarn, because we do sell these at a much lower price point. But using a quality yarn really made the difference on those. And cord, just all the wrapping material has to be really good. The reason we can sell them at a little lower price point is that we design them to be manufactured very quickly.
The first question I had about the marimba mallets is that they come in 3 different of hardnesses, and do they all have the same core material, or is there something different inside each mallet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good question. It is the same material, but it's in different hardnesses. So we don't have to do anything to alter the hardness of the core. There's no underlayments of latex or rubber or felt or rubber tube or anything. It's just we use 3 different cores, each one harder than the next. So that's part of what makes it easy for us to put together. It's just we have a nice rubber core for each model. In fact, I'll give away the secret here. When your hard marimba mallet, when eventually someday the yarn will wear down eventually, and underneath that is you'll find a black rubber core, which is the exact core that's on our rubber Etude series E70. So when your yarn comes off, you have an E70 mallet. So again, more value right there.
So recycling guaranteed.
Guaranteed, yeah. When the yarn comes off, do not throw it away. I mean, you can rewrap it yourself if you have that skill, or it makes a good set of rubber mallets. Yeah.
Of course, you have vibraphone mallets in the same series as well. Are these and they have like a different material? They have not yarn, but more cord wrap.
Yeah, it's a smaller, thinner material, and it's tighter wrapped on there. And it gives it much different articulation. Yarn mallets, you can, once the player is a little more experienced, you play a little lighter. You tend to play on what I call on top of the yarn before really pushing through and getting all that core contacts down. With the cord wrapped mallets, the material is thinner and tighter wrapped, so you get a really consistent articulation through all the dynamic ranges.
That was a short story from Bruce Salyers about his mallets, and maybe useful to know how a marimba mallet is made, how a vibraphone mallet is made. The next project I want to show you is something I'm really proud of. Last year I made an arrangement of a very famous song from the musical Jesus Christ Superstar. And it's recorded by a local percussion ensemble in my own area, and we only recorded it last week, and the first recording was okay, so we did it. It was a one taker, and the tune is called Gethsemane. It's from the as I told, it's from Jesus Christ Superstar. It's a really beautiful ballad written for mallet ensemble. And beautiful played by the percussion ensemble David from Oosterwolde, which is a little town here in my area. Enjoy Gethsemane. So, Frank, welcome to the show. We've just been listening to the recording of Gethsemane with your group. Are you happy with the results?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy. The group sounds good, I think, and the whole worked well with the reverb in the hall.
Yeah, I've just added a little bit of reverb and just EQ'd a little bit of more bass, so you'll hear the bass marimba really well. So I'm happy with the results as well. It was a great recording session, and not to mention that we just did it in one take.
It was a one taker, yeah.
Pretty awesome for those guys, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm guessing this piece doesn't demand the group's maximum technical skills, but why is it important for a mallet ensemble to program these kinds of pieces from time to time?
I think that's right. It's they can play much more difficult music, more technical. But I think in all other music pieces, there's often a quieter part, a hymn kind of, or a choral kind of middle part in bigger pieces, in contest pieces or something. So it's important to train that to
That's what I thought as well, because in my opinion, it has something to do with being above the notes and having more room for building some musicality.
It helps to get better in sound and balancing in your ensemble.
Yeah. We've also have been talking about the practice tracks and software I'm providing with all the new pieces. How can these tracks simplify the preparation process, and what impact can this have on your percussion ensemble rehearsals?
I think the bottom line is it saves a lot of time in rehearsal, and that benefits the end result. So I'm lucky enough to have a group who can sight read very fast because of the lessons they took before they joined. But when you have a part as a musician or an ensemble player and you don't exactly know what it says, or there's a rhythmicality difficult piece, you can hear what it says and you can see it and play it, so you can learn along the way.
A lot of people start laughing when I bring up my karaoke tracks. What would be the advantage for your weekly rehearsal if people could already start discovering their role in the ensemble at home? So do a lot of people of your ensemble own their own instrument, and what would be the advantage of this for them?
Yeah, I think time and the question marks they have when they're sight reading their own part, you can take a lot of them away by listening to, that's what it says.
So that was a short part of the interview I had with Frank Ritsema. He's the director of the ensemble you just saw playing my arrangement of Gethsemane from Jesus Christ Superstar. And the next one was a fun project to do because it's a song from one of my favorite pop artists. It's a song from Stevie Wonder, and I arranged it for percussion ensemble with a bass guitar, drum set, and there's even an optional horn section arranged for 2 trumpets, alto saxophone, and trombone. And of course the arrangement is also playable without the horns. Enjoy my arrangement of Don't You Worry About a Thing. I don't know if you could read the bass guitar part very well. It has chord symbols in it. So if you want to add a guitar player or a keyboard player, that's also possible. That's why I wrote in the chord symbols in the bass guitar part. So that was my arrangement of Don't You Worry About a Thing by Stevie Wonder. The project I've been starting on already before summer is that I actually want to do something with Christmas every year. And I found Bill Dennee from the Denmark school district in Wisconsin to study the piece with his students. And then he wanted to go and record it last week, and then a couple of students didn't show up, and so he couldn't make a good record of the piece as a video. But he had some audio recordings from a rehearsal session before. So the first thing you'll hear is a short piece of Bill, his students playing the My Joyful Christmas Favorites medley. And as you hear, they're all very recognizable Christmas themes. And after that, I'll start the score play video so you can see the whole piece as it's arranged by me. to the show from Wisconsin, isn't it?
Yeah, Wisconsin.
Yeah. And you're teaching at the Denmark School District, and you're teaching middle school and high school as well, if I understood everything well.
I just teach middle school.
You just teach middle school, but for
Yep.
this project, you had the help of the high school students as well, I understood.
Correct.
Are there enough challenges in the medley for mallet and untuned percussion guys?
Oh, yes. Yep. The thing that works really great about the piece that you've put together is the melody is so recognizable. So it's, comfortable to their ear for the mallet players. And I think the battery instruments, it makes it they just kind of enhance everything that's going on with the mallets. So it makes it really easy to put together. I want to make sure everybody knows that the thing that's really cool about your piece is where it always goes back to, it's like that opening part.
Yeah, that Merry Christmas tune.
Yeah, where so that
Merry Christmas,
yes,
Merry. That
yep,
part.
and it's
Yeah.
got that really catchy rhythm that the kids buy into really quick. They're like, once they learn how to do that, I think it's dotted quarter note, quarter note.
Mm-hmm.
Once they catch into that rhythm, and then all of a sudden they hear it when it comes back, maybe 12 measures later, it's that hook piece of learning it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, that's that part, and oh, then I can do that. So then when they're putting it together, they've got those little islands of success that they can jump into.
Yeah. About Islands of Success, did you send them any audio tracks before rehearsals?
Yep, that was the first thing I did. As I gave them the piece of music, and then I sent them your rehearsal tracks right away.
Mm-hmm. And did you notice that the study process went more smoothly thanks to those tracks?
Yep. Yes. For them knowing what it sounded like before we started putting it together really helped the process.
And a lot of people mostly start laughing when I bring up my karaoke tracks. But oh, you're the next one. But do you think these contribute to understanding their role in the ensemble more than just the solo track they got?
I think that was the most beneficial thing of the whole project, was having them be able to listen and not have their part in, and be able to rehearse, on their own, having that part stuck, to be able to practice with that track.
That was a short piece of the interview I had with Bill Dennee, and I spoke to him just before this launch. I think it was yesterday, and he is going to re-record the piece somewhere next week. So be on the lookout for our YouTube channel, because I'll be uploading it as soon as it's finished. So that was a lot of information about the new pieces I've published, and I think we had them all 7 for this year. And I'll just want to show you something about the offer I'm going to make during this launch. And yeah, of course, you all the educators and directors have been talking about their rehearsal time, and you can keep on messing around like you did and waste rehearsal time, but you can start using our innovative practice tools and save time, just like all the directors and educators told us about during this launch. And I think number 1 is no option. And if you want to work with my music, here's my invitation. And I'm going to offer you something today for a very special price. And then afterwards, I'm going to raffle off the set of mallets I got from Bruce for this occasion. I'm going to offer you 3 percussion ensemble pieces of your choice. So you don't have to choose the new ones, you can choose the old ones as well. And these are the following things are included: a physical printed score, so an original score in case you need it for a festival or a contest, downloadable individual part, so you can print as much parts as you need, because we all know that suddenly a part disappears. And you're getting a downloadable full recording of the piece, a temporary downloadable score, which is directly available after checkout, so you can start rehearsing right away, practice tracks for all individual parts in the piece, and the practice software for different kind of operating systems. And normally you would pay about 56.90 for percussion ensemble piece, 40.94 for the sheet music, and 15.95 for the tracks and the software as an additional services. If you buy 3 pieces, normally you would be it would cost you almost $200. And I'm also adding my concert percussion info guide today. This is a great guide to hand out to your new percussionists, and it has all the information you need about the tuned percussion instruments and all the untuned percussion instruments in a percussion ensemble. Actually, a guide every beginning percussionist should read, and it's in PDF format. You can copy as much as copies as you like, and this is just my extra present for deciding to start working with my music. I'm going to offer the whole package for just $127 today, and this offer starts today and is available till next Sunday, November 16. And for your information, this is over 40% off on the regular price of the percussion ensemble arrangements. And if you want to check it out, you can just go to bmcus.com/yes to check out the offer I made during this launch party. And just for your information, you don't need to decide what pieces you want to play. Just go for the offer and make the payment just before Sunday, November 16. And later on, you can write me an email or send me a text what kind of titles you want to purchase, you want to play. So there's no rush in what titles you want to play, but just make sure you're getting the offer for the spectacular price of 127 euros. So as I told you, the offer is available till Sunday, November 17, and it's up to you if you want to get started and make a start with my music, which saves you a lot of rehearsal time because of the practice tracks, the karaoke tracks, and the included software. And there's one more thing actually I forgot to show you, and normally I do that before this presentation, but I just wanted to show you just a little bit about the software which is included, because we've been talking about it, but I didn't show it to you actually. And I've got a small video here ready for you about the AudioStretch software, which is included with the karaoke and practice tracks. And this is how it looks like. It's available for Android mobile devices and iOS devices as well. And this is how it works. You can find an MP3 file on your device and open it in the app, and then you can just play it by by pushing the play button and slow the tempo down. Very useful if when students are playing the tune for the first time. Never play it in the original tempo. And speed it up, also possible. And then there's a way to set an A point and a B point, and make a specific part of the music play as a loop. So if you have a student who has a problem with certain kind of bars in the ensemble piece, find the bars. And in the most of practice tracks, there's a click as well. So it's an easy task to find the beginning of the bar and the end of the bar. And this way they can find the starting point of the loop. And then this should be the end of the loop. So that's the B point. And then you can loop the specific bars over and over again. And slow it down again. So that's actually how the software works. So if you want to get started with all this, these tools, just click on the link and make sure you're getting the offer for just $127. I'd like to thank you for watching this live launch, and I'll put the link in the chat as well, and I'll put it under the live launch video as well, because the video stays on YouTube. You can visit it again. You can visit the recording as well if you want to check some parts of the things I've been telling you today, and I'll put a link to the launch offer in the video description as well. I'd like to thank you for attending this launch today. I wish you a great weekend. Thanks for your attention, and I hope to see you the next time. Okay, bye bye.